Hey, 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 what's happening? My name is Chad Allen, and I'm a master's prepared nurse. And also, tonight we're going to be talking about a very fun topic that I think will really, really, really get you going in the right direction. And a little bit about myself for those who don't know me. In 2015, when I got married to my beautiful, beautiful wife, and so we got married in 2015, and in 2016, my wife became pregnant with our daughter. And then when she was 30 weeks pregnant, we found out that she had pregnancy-induced breast cancer. And then from there, we decided that we wanted to hold on because we did not want to. Uh, there was a lot of fear going on at the time, and then she decided to have our baby when she was 36 weeks pregnant, so that she can get her treatment done, her chemo and integrative treatment. And then unfortunately, at 9 months, when my daughter was 9 months old, my first wife died of breast cancer, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my life. And I'm sure those who had spouses who died of breast cancer or died of any cause for that matter could really, really relate to that. So you can imagine the negative thoughts, the anger that you have, toward uh, God and other people. You could just imagine, because you're wanting her to live, but it wasn't meant to be. But God came through again and blessed me with a very beautiful wife, and that's my second wife, and she's an awesome mom to our wonderful 4-year-old daughter. And so I learned a lot during that time about having a transformed mind, a transformed heart, and releasing everything that there is to release, so that we could be better people and better stewards of those who are around us, so that we can have a positive influence on those who we are to take care of. And so our topic tonight is, why is transformational living healthy living? You know, you typically don't see mindset being taught as a health issue, but it's very much a health issue. And I will go into why that is, and I'll give you a little bit of a story behind that, of uh, why your mindset and how you think and what you do, it's really interconnected with your health, because it really is. People have a misconception, because when they think of health, their first thought is to think of physical health, like losing weight, cardiovascular issues. They typically think of um, autoimmune diseases like psoriasis or asthma or myasthenia gravis, or one of these autoimmune type things, these physical health issues that really see. But few people, when it really comes down to it, really see the mental health as being a real health issue. But it is, because your mind is always interconnected with your physical health. And I don't know how many times I saw where someone who had a very positive belief that they would live, even if they got cancer, and they were strong about it, and they really believed it with all the heart, that they were healed, versus the person who was not so positive, was negative, thought they were going to die, and they died. So your mind plays a very big role in how you stay healthy, and how your immune system also responds to that. So a prime example I would give is this. When and I will use the case of my wife actually, because I think it's a great example, for this particular example. So when my wife was pregnant, we were the happiest people alive. We were going out shopping. We were, looking uh, at baby clothes, buying all the stuff, getting ready for our baby Sarah to be born to us, and to really give us the kind of joy that we are really wanting. And every month it was like a new month. You're counting down the days that you get to see baby Sarah, and the baby bump is forming, and you're super super excited, right? Sure, growing up, while before we were married, my wife had a lot of stress put on her. She had some depression that she fought before we were married, and so everything was great. Everything was hunky dory, right? And but then all of a sudden, you get the news that there's cancer, and you're like, "Oh my goodness." You're being rushed through like crazy through all the doctors. Every doctor's trying to tell you what to do. You immediately go into depression mode. You immediately go to wondering what is going to happen with your life. And this was something that myself and my wife Jane was really going through, quite a bit. So even though we were going to have a baby, there was a lot of depression that began to set in for my wife. And as we got closer and closer to birth, you know, yeah, when Sarah was born, some of that depression was relieved, but just the idea of knowing that you have cancer was was something that was absolutely devastating for my wife. And I don't think she ever recovered from that, because, she's a very strong person, but there were times where she would just be crying. She would be um, detached a little bit. There were times when, uh, she did not want to see Sarah, because she was afraid that if Sarah were to see her in her own state, that she would really feel um, even more sadness. And but then as time went on, her condition kept continuing to get worse and worse and worse. Even with treatments, she continued to get worse. And whether or not a positive attitude at that particular time would have helped her quite a bit, I don't know. But what I do see in her case versus someone who is very positive, who might be in the same situation, I do see a lot of times I do see a very big difference in how one recovers from what they are having. And so I always go back to my first wife in that instance, because maybe if the way she felt would have been stronger, or would have been much more happier and much more determined, then maybe, not saying it was definite, but maybe, you know, sh she would have recovered, but maybe not. The same thing with someone who is very positive and really believes that they're gonna be healed. There's so many cases of that, being the case where people are just completely healed, because of how their mind was at that particular time when they got the the problem that came to them. So your thoughts, the kind of thoughts that you're having in your mind, they are, and how you are feeling so insecure in your mind, it's really determining your overall health and your overall well-being, as a person. And I'll use my own self, for this example, because when I was growing up, I was, oh, you got the whiny butt award. Oh, you're this and you're that. Oh, the piano's being played too loud. You gotta stop doing that. You'll never be this or that. And oh, that's so funny, that kind of thing. And you could just imagine when you take in those words and you really believe it, because what they are telling you is like, well, it must be true that I I would never be a good piano player. Maybe I'm too loud. Maybe I should just, shrink back a little bit to what I used to be, and it so you believe, so like these ideas that are put into your head by not only yourself, but by other people who are telling you these things. You begin to believe it, and then you begin to have that kind of self-doubt that you normally would not have in the first place, but because because you believed it when someone told you, then it's like, well, I am this. So so as time goes on, what do we do? When something happens, we would tell ourselves, I was so stupid for doing that. Why was I so dumb? Or I cannot believe I just did that. I mean, you feel so bad, and you're feeling, really, really crushed inside, right? And these are things that you can't change in your life if you really, really wanted to, but you have to be willing to have a mind shift, transformation that would take place. And I've been through that. I've been where many are, they just can't get past something. They want this certain kind of success their whole life, right? They want to be successful, but what happens? What happens? They know they want success. They believe it in all of their heart. I believe it in all of my heart. Man, I want to be successful. I say it in my mind. You know, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be this. But in that subconscious mind that you have, there's that little still voice telling you, yeah, it ain't going to happen. Huh. Yeah, right. Whatever. You really think that you are that great? Nah, I don't think so. You know, you really should rethink that. Don't you think that you have your goals set too high? Do you really think that you're going to hit those goals? I mean, in that time frame that you really set the goal, do you really think that you're going to hit that at all? And so you believe that, right? And then instead of going after and achieving what you are really wanting in your life, you take it, you take what your subconscious mind is telling you, and you begin to believe it. And as you believe it, your your mind begins to tell your body uh, to be more negative, to be more suppressed. So you tend to get unhealthy and unhealthier. You gain weight. You do all this other stuff because your mind is in a negative state. Is telling you, "Well, I can't do that. I can't do this. Why did I do that? Why would I want to do that? Am I really going to achieve it? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I did set it too high. I don't know." So you have all this mind trash going through your mind, and it's really causing you to shut down as a whole. Everything, like, if you're having all this mind trash, all this negativity, what's it doing to you as a person? It's making you more negative. It's making you more depressed. It's making you more angry. It's making you more of whatever. You see, so your mind is definitely connected to your health overall. And if we were to say that that's not true, then we are only kidding ourselves for sure. So, how do we change this? How do we change this idea that is there? So, one of the things that I really believe that we can do, and by the way, you can go to my weblog at chadallen.net, chadallan.net. You get my freebie there, chadallen.net/freebie, freebie. And by the way, you could check out you could definitely check out the blog post that I wrote about this. And so anyway, it's there. So in the book called The Secret Code of Success by Noah St. John, you can get that on Amazon. He talks about affirmations and changing the way you ask yourself questions so that you can affirm your mind to a new standard. Because if you really think about it, and he's so right, we always are asking ourselves questions. And typically the questions that we typically ask ourselves are typically negative affirmations. So those negative affirmations, when we are they are so ingrained in us that when something happens, it is innate in us to respond in a certain way immediately and tell ourselves, why in the world did I just do that? I'm so stupid. See that negative affirmation that is taking place. So instead of saying something like that, you would want to change it to something positive. So you're like, why am I so smart? I am so good at this. And and when you really believe that and you really are putting that into action, your mind will start to focus on the things that are smart, the things that are wealthy, the things that are successful, the ideas that are meant for you to learn and choose and act on so that what you are telling yourself you are definitely getting. And this is definitely the case, by the way, for anything, whether it be your weight loss, whether it be your wealth, whether it be whatever, business, whatever. It's there and it can help you. So there's a difference between affirmation and affirmation. Affirmation is like saying, I believe, I know I will do this. I know it's like a statement, right? You're making a statement of belief that you're hoping that will come true. But what happens with affirmation, unfortunately, is that sometimes it does not always come true because when we s- when we see I believe this, I will be this, immediately there is that subconscious mind, maybe it doesn't happen right away, but maybe it happens a few minutes later, whatever, that says, yeah, right, whatever. Are you really sure about that? Uh-huh. That kind of thing. So when you try to reframe your mind, when you begin to reframe your mind with a question, it's like, why am I so wealthy? Why am I so smart? Why am I so successful? Why am I this? Then you will begin to see and you'll begin to have that kind of transformation because you are changing the way that you're thinking. You're no longer asking, why am I so dumb? You're asking, why am I so smart? And that change of mindset would really help you in the long run. So I hope you got value out of tonight's video call, and I'm glad that you joined me today. If you got value, please share it with your friends and family. And we will see you tomorrow. By the way, you could go, like I said earlier, you go to my web blog at chatallen.net and you get my freebie there at chatallen.net/freebie, or just click on the banner below once you get on the homepage, chatallen.net/freebie, freebie, and it'll all be there. Okay. Well, I thank you so much for everything. We will see you tomorrow because I'm on a 7-day blitz. Woohoo! Blitz, blitz, blitz. And we're super excited because great things are happening and you are amazing. Thank you so much for being on. Take care. Bye bye.